This is probably my favorite Pletor feature, and I also in this video cover like one very helpful way of thinking about AI creative workflow when it comes to automation. And so I'm glad to present you like these beautiful workflows that will help you do product bundles. So like you cross different products of your product catalog basically in a way at scale basically. To really showcase your different products in a very efficient and scalable way. So let's get started with the starting point. Here, in my case, I decided to make the whole art direction from scratch. Of course, you can start from an existing like photo setting, whatever. In this case, like the workflow is way, way simpler because it basically more or less only. In my case, I found it helpful and useful to start from scratch. So I made here like craft 3 prompts for a glossier product, and here like I'm just asking to create 3 backgrounds of a photo shooting to make something cool. And as you can see, I also provided as an inspiration several like visuals made by Glossier that I could find on Instagram, Pinterest, and so on. Then I sent these two inputs, into a node, which is one of our Pletor creative assistants. So that is where you can find creative assistants here, generate text here, and you have a bunch of pre-filled basically prompt systems. In my case, I chose like enhance image edit prompt, as you can see on the right. And I just get back here to initial prompts. And so basically here it's the prompt on the right. So the pre-filled like prompt system has a simple rule to create like prompts based on inputs, and prompts made for like a cool model and like to enhance like an initial prompt from the user. So here I'm providing my initial prompt, and I actually ask to create 3 prompts, not one. And then I also provide my mood board. And so instead of having to do myself the abstraction work of like what I want to do, here it does everything. It does the web search to like go further and identify like key elements of Glossier. It does the creative work. So like how should we, what should we show? Even if I did like very rough instructions here. And then it drafts like, and this is also because it's provided here, like also constraints and so on. It drafts like pretty good prompts. Then I have my 3 prompts. And all in the same node. So I'm not very comfortable like having all of them in the same node because it won't be very flexible for the rest of the workflow. So what I decide to use is I decide to use a split prompt. And as you can see here, I asked specifically to separate with a star the visual, like the prompts. And so here I asked in the separator to say, okay, each star, use it as a separator. So I can now have like 3 sub nodes, but it's not there yet, right? And now I want to extract these split nodes to make sure like we have like one branch of the workflow per prompt. And so this is what I'm doing with the list selector. Basically, the list selector enables you to extract sub prompts like that and select like which one you want to share with the rest of the workflow. So here I'm sharing the first one, here I'm sharing the second one, and here I'm sharing the third one. Of course, I could like mix up the order and so on. Then I send these prompts to Rev. I'm using Rev in this case because I'll usually love the art direction of Rev. I think it gives you like pretty cool stuff. But like I could have, of course, used like a completely different model. Like I could have used, for example, Seedream 4.5. Flux could be interesting as well. Pixfield could be an interesting pick as well. Nano Banana Pro, of course. But here in this case, I decided to use Rev. And then and so far, as you may have noticed, I haven't yet placed my products, right? So I'm here gonna place 2 products. So here I'm gonna do a kind of key visual. I'm adding these products, and like this is a typical Nano Banana prompt. I just say, okay, you will receive 2 Glossier products. The products in inspiration turns that into a Glossier item. And for example, here I took like this one, which was like here it's not the actual setting, right? This was more like almost a mood board or an inspiration. And Nano Banana worked quite well around that. I got also like this visual, which was probably a bit less original, and this one was that I quite. Then like I have my key visual. So if this one I decide not to keep for the rest of the workflow, this one I decide to keep. And then I'm like, okay, this is let's work on this one. Like this is a visual I like. But now I want to swap the products because I have like way many more products to show, like as you can see here. So I made like 2 batches of products, this and this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross the catalogs. So I want to show like this product here, the top left one, in combination with every single one of the products in the second batch. And then I will do with this second product at top right, I want to do exactly the same with every single product. To do that, I mean, I have several options, right? Either like I do it manually, which would be like super time consuming and boring, or I use Pletor Loop mode. So I plug my prompt here, I didn't detail it here, my initial image, and the two buckets. The two blocks of input. And then I say I loop. So I do like, I start here, top left, and run the node like across every other input in batch 2, because like loop is activated for 2. Then I do the same for the second one, and I run it, and so on and so on. And thanks to that, I have a bunch of like very, very consistent product visuals, as you can see here. And you may at this point ask like, okay, why didn't you do it already? Like, why did you do this step? Why didn't you skip this step? The rationale behind that is that I wanted to have an already very fixed composition here, because from this fixed composition, then I just have to swap the product, which is what I did here, right? If I don't just swap the product, I basically risk having like variations in the composition of the image, in the background itself, and so on. And that's something I wanted to avoid. So I hope that's a helpful tutorial for you, and that you'll like, that you'll like it. And let me know if you have any questions. Bye.